Before I start this video, I just want to say 1.17, the preview has come out, and a lot of you guys should know if you guys are big Minecraft fans. I am so extraordinarily excited. It looks absolutely amazing. But before we start today's video, I do want to say that I made a video a while back speculating on what I thought would come into the Cave update, and some of my ideas are right. So let's go ahead and check out a few clips from my old video where I predicted what was going to happen in 1.17. I think this would be super cool if we had copper, amethyst, and ruby underground lakes. Just imagine this, having these huge lakes, and I thought it would be so cool if we had slime balls be able to be used in this kind of way that sea pickles are used, how you can place them down, and the more you place down, the brighter it gets. And with that out of the way, now that you guys have seen I did somehow predict a few things that were coming in 1.17, we will focus on today's video. If you guys are brand new, my name is YoMixer238. I usually do building tutorials and that sort of thing, but today we're doing a special cave-themed video. If you guys do like this video, again, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe because it really does help me out. But today's video is super special. Let me kind of demonstrate on what we're going to be doing. And instead of demonstrating it, even though I haven't built it yet, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and jump into a time lapse of me building it, which is going to be many days in the future. But I think this will be a really cool idea if we just go ahead and build it, time lapse it, and then I can explain afterwards what I did. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy this time lapse of me building whatever I'm going to build. Man, that did take quite a while. It took a lot of hours to get this build done, but Future Mike here, and listening to my previous clips, I kind of realized what I said, I didn't really explain at all what I was doing. And what I was doing, so I can tell you guys this now, is there's this one chunk challenge on Planet Minecraft. If you guys want to, I highly recommend submitting your own builds because it's a really cool challenge, really unique, where you can only build in one chunk. And now that 1.17's come out, I thought this challenge would be fun, especially to do a cave kind of design idea. And so as you could see, as very nicely demonstrated by the time lapse, what I ended up doing was creating this insane cave world where I did many different cave types going up many blocks, hundreds of blocks doing this build. And it turned out absolutely amazing looking. But I think what we should do now is go on a little bit of a tour in first person. You've seen in time lapse, but seeing in first person is something completely else. So now that we are in first person mode, just looking at the size of this thing, it's insanely huge, which that's one thing I've noticed. Second year of videos so far, we've had a lot of really huge builds, which I absolutely love. Great challenge, and it makes it loads of fun. But as you can see, I made a cave in one chunk going all the way down from the top to the bottom. I do want to say real quick one last thing too. This will be, obviously, since I'm submitting this to Planet Minecraft, you guys can download this world and check it out if you want, which I highly recommend doing. It turned out so cool. This world just looks absolutely phenomenal, as my uncle would say, phenomenal. It's really cool. Starting off, the very first thing I wanted to do was have an entryway to the cave, and I thought, you know, what better way to do that than introducing kind of, I guess you could say this is a factory or a mining station place And these details took shape really quickly. I kept doing barrels, and you'll see that along the build. I added a lot of barrels and construction equipment just to make it look like it's being worked on. There's some campfires where the workers can, I don't know, sit down and have a little bit of a hamburger break or something like that. There's obviously lots of ores being mined out, lots of coal to keep this thing fueled up and going. We got this huge tower right here. I don't know what this tower is supposed to do. Probably just for melting ores and getting raw materials and forming them into something. But you can see the way we end up getting to the first cave is through a little hole right here with a crane that drops down, and you'll be able to see later it's just like some TNT to explode the, you know, caves and everything and make some ground. But first, I just want to go ahead and go over this real quick. It's a pretty simple build. It's nothing too complex. It's just two main buildings. So we got one tower, and then we've got one just regular construction site with a block palette of, you know, granite, bricks, and that sort of thing. On the inside is very, very small just because the outside is also kind of small. But if we go up here, walk in, you can see we got some armor stands right here. If you guys want to do this later too, there's actually a challenge in this world where, you know what? Here's the book. You guys can pause and read the book if you want real quick, just see what the challenge is, but it's pretty cool. It's like a parkour challenge that I incorporated into this map. And then down here is just a little room for more smelting and stuff, and right here it says Hearthstone. That involves a challenge, so pause or go back and see the book if you guys want to see what the Hearthstone is about. But the interior there's not too much detail, which the caves, I do a lot more detail in the caves because they're the caves, but yeah, that's just basically about it. You know, two buildings with a crane that leads into the first cave. So let's go ahead and jump into the first cave. And jumping right down onto the TNT that is being hoisted down by the crane right here, you can see we've got this luxurious, very leafy and kind of earthy cave, which I absolutely love this detail. You guys have seen in 1.17, you probably saw that they are adding more earth-like caves with a lot more plants and foliage and stuff down inside it. But I thought, let's do my own version while we can in 1.16 of an earthy cave. And this is what I thought would be cool. So we've got this nice underground water lake with some sea pickles and whatnot decorating it. I really love this oak slab pathway here. It's a little bridge that will lead us eventually down to the next layer, which the next layer is more of a mine. I guess you could say it's more of an authentic vanilla mine kind of look to it. But over here we got an elevator that if we wanted to, we could hook it up to this crane right here that goes down and lift it on up. Got some TNT being deposited because we need something explosive to get us down into the caves. And like I said, I incorporated a lot of barrels and that sort of stuff, and ores in the walls, diamonds, lanterns hanging from the sky. You'll notice I do a lot of lanterns very often, and I make these caves as open as I can in the 16x16 space that we have. But if you think about it, it's kind of insane that all of this is in a 16x16 chunk. Like, that's kind of crazy for the amount of detail that we fit in here. It's a lot with the foliage, the vines hanging down, and we even got stalagmites and stalagmites. I don't know if stalagmites are on the bottom or top, but you guys know what I'm saying. But yeah, so this turned out really lush and pretty, and I wish I would have added more grass and that sort of stuff. But even then, we have this mossy cobblestone looking like little pathways and stuff, and it just looks so very cool. Let's go ahead, move on to the next part though, which is the mine. Let's go ahead and climb down this hanging ladder right over here, which, if Minecraft and vanilla Minecraft added hanging ladders, that would be such a cool feature. I love how we did that. The way we did that is we just used barrier blocks, so invisible blocks, with the ladder hanging down to make that look very cool. But now that we're in the second layer, you can see I did go for a very vanilla-esque mine shaft. As you can see, we got the nice oak slabs with the supports right here so that the cave doesn't look like it's going to fall in on itself. There's some TNT propped up, mine carts, and I don't know exactly what I use these grindstones for. Maybe like a chain going down or something like that. But this cave, it's nice. It's definitely decorated and definitely decaled and everything, but I didn't go too extreme with it. This really feels like something you could find in vanilla Minecraft. But the next cave is something much more special. So let's go ahead and climb down the ladder. And again, I know I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, but if you guys want to explore these worlds yourself, you can always download them on Planet Minecraft. The next one looks so much cooler. I love this. It's Crystal Cavern. That's what I have on the sign right there. And even though this is ice and packed ice and blue ice and whatnot, I kind of chose these block palettes on the floor and everything to look more like crystals. And you can see it's very, very nice. It's complemented with this light blue, dark blue, and then cyan stained glass, or cyan stained glass. And we also have the ores in the wall. We got lapis and diamond, 2 blue ores to kind of fit this very nice blue cavern. Like, I really like just how light it looks and how we have this one pillar in the middle of the cave supporting the entire cave. I think that looks really cool. And then we also got these nice lights. I use sea lanterns because, again, they have a blue texture with some oak trapdoors around them and a bunch more texturing down to the cave, lanterns hanging and everything, and it fits this nice blue format very, very well. I think this turned out really cool. But what turns out even cooler is that, as you can see, now that we have this blue ice and packed ice palette, which is supposed to look more like a crystal, we actually do form that into a kind of quartz crystal cave. So let's go ahead and descend into the next cave. And climbing down this ladder, you can see we've got a really big and really tall cave that you would not see in vanilla Minecraft. This has no vanilla-like way to it whatsoever, but we do have a very cool ladder leading down, another one of the hanging ladders. I usually use this to transport between layers because I didn't know what else to use for the transport. But coming down here, it's a mixture of many blocks. So I use just regular ice so you can kind of see through it. I use smooth quartz block and snow blocks along with white stained glass pane, surrounding them to get these kind of quartz pillars going up. Now, of course, we do have regular quartz, but I didn't like that. It wasn't transparent enough. It didn't look like a crystal. Instead, it looked just like a regular block. It didn't have any transparency to it. So with the ice and the combination of the glass, since the ice you can sort of see through, and the glass you are most definitely able to see through, as you can see, is very transparent. I created this really cool crystal cavern kind of thing. I guess the top one was called Crystal Caverns, but this one just looks very, very cool. Of course, we continue to texture the caves and adding in mining equipment every once in a while, some chests and some barrels for the miners to get their stuff down. And we keep this nice blue palette with the torches, and the end rods from the ceiling hanging look really cool. They almost look like, I don't want to say icicles because this isn't supposed to be a frozen cave, it's supposed to be a crystal cave. But they look very cool hanging up there, like stalagmites or stalagmites. Again, which ones, I don't know which they are, but it does look pretty darn cool. Let's go ahead and move on from this crystal quartz cave though to our next one, which it transitions into a bit more of a heated situation. So if we climb down here, and I say heated because the closer to the middle of the earth you go, the closer to the core, it's going to get hotter. So what I did is I started incorporating a lot of blackstone and basalt because these two blocks go together very, very well, blackstone and basalt. And I added some lava with some steam coming up. It's nothing too crazy, but it's definitely starting to get hot. I think I even have a sign around here where it says, warning, extreme heat from here on out. So you got to be careful of how hot it gets. But as you can see, we do have the crystal cave up there too with the ice and everything, and it very slowly transitions into a more rocky, definitely hotter looking place. With the gold and the black, the hot colors, the red, it definitely looks like this cavern could be a little toasty on the inside. But with that said, let's move on to somewhere a little bit more extreme, a little bit more hot. Let's move on to the next section of the cave, which, climbing down the ladder once more, this is where things get really hot. As you can see, there's a lava lake with the lava falls, and it's more blackstone than anything else with a cool basalt ceiling. Oh my gosh, this is probably one of my favorite caves. It's very nether-esque. It looks very cool using a lot of the nether palette blocks, but I think this turned out pretty amazing looking. And we got these nice wooden platforms with the ladders leading to one another so you can get down. It's very precarious, and it's all supposed to look precarious because this is in a very hot part of the cave. This is probably where you'd actually have to wear a suit in order to not get first degree and second degree burns. I don't know exactly how it would work in caves, but it would be very heated in here. And it's so cool. We got the smoke coming up, a lot more smoke than we did in the last cave. We got some gilded blackstone, so the yellow kind of indentations in the walls that represent gems and whatnot. And then if we climb down here, you can see we've got magma blocks, and we've got this black concrete powder around the edges to make it look very hot and very deadly. If you were to mistrip and trip in this cave and fall in the lava, you'd probably be dead. As you can see, I kind of am on fire. You'd probably be dead. But it's a very cool cave as well. Once we go, there's one more layer to this whole shenanigan, this whole crazy thing that we got to go down, and that's the craziest layer because it's submerged in lava. At that point, you'd probably die from the amount of pressure, but in a 16 by 16 space, I can't create these caves as big as I wanted to. I think, though, that I encompassed a pretty good size in them. I don't know, it just looks so massive inside, and it looks so very well done. Another thing I did too, nice side note, is these dried kelp blocks right here. They're actually supposed to be kind of gems. I don't know exactly what gems you would get from far down below in caves. Probably a lot of diamonds, since they're more pressure, they're more compressed and everything. But yeah, this definitely looks cool, and I love the lava waterfall. I wanted to add more of those, but I just didn't have enough space to make a big enough lava lake going around to have a couple waterfalls. But with that said, warning, extreme pressure below, which at this point I feel like we'd already be in extreme pressure, but this is the last cave we got right here. So let's go ahead, go down. And right here you can see it's 100% submerged in lava. There's smoke coming up from everywhere. There's fire. There's those little particle effects. I don't know what those are. Where is it? We got some lava dripping from the ceiling too. And from this part, you can actually traverse around the cave, although it's very sketchy. You could easily fall into the lava, but with this shift jump, if you go to the very edge and then jump across the blocks, it's not too bad. And guess what? We got right down here, the hearthstone. So if you guys are wanting to do the parkour challenge, to get the hearthstone. You get the hearthstone and bring it up to the building up there. I know I said if you read the book, you know exactly what it's about. But basically, you bring this hearthstone all the way to the top. And for those of you who are going to do that challenge, I challenge you to do it without losing a single heart. It's so hard to get down here and stay without any damage. It's a fun challenge, but if we look around, it's very cool, completely submerged in lava, and I love that. It's supposed to be the bottom, or the deepest we can go before reaching, the Earth's core. And I think this is encompasses really cool, especially with these black stone pillars supporting the cave. I can only imagine, you'd probably feel like you were being squashed at this point because of the pressure of the Earth, the amount of Earth sitting on top of you. But yeah, that does look really, really cool. And that was actually the very last cave, but there is still more to the video, so don't click off just yet. But wow, trying to fit this all in one chunk is very hard. That's 16 blocks by 16 blocks, and it's really more like a 14 by 14 because 16 of the blocks are taken, or 2 of the blocks are taken up by these layers wrapping around. But that wasn't just it. I also had to texture the outside of this entire thing because you want it to look good on the outside and the inside, and I think that this turned out so successful. The outside of it looks just as cool as all the inside caves combined, and it's very nice, very textured up. It almost looks like a terrarium of caves as you descend down deeper and deeper until you reach the bottom of the Earth. And yeah, I love how that turned out. I tried as hard as I could to get these things to kind of flow. You can see the basalt is kind of a transition between the stone and the black stone, and it almost merges, it creeps down, along with the bedrock down here at the very bottom. I did have to keep this weird bedrock thing for the challenge, like the way this looks. I did have to keep it that way, so don't judge me on that part. But you can see even then, the bedrock kind of converges with the black stone, and the whole thing just flows together really nicely. You got, and then the coolest part, I kept these glass windows so that you could actually look on the inside and see what it's like on the inside. Which, I forgot to do this. I was going to set it to midnight since it is a cave, but you can even look inside. And when you look inside from the outside of these caves, they just look so cool. It's like a terrarium for Minecraft players. Imagine just sitting on the outside and having this view so you could watch players running around and everything and struggling not to die in the caves. Woo! Woo! And I guess there are some windows broken too. I gotta fix that, make sure that doesn't happen. But yeah, it's just so cool. You can see it from every single angle. And since I use stained glass blocks, it's a lot easier to look on the inside. But wow, just the caves look so much cooler like this. If we go up right here, you can see on the inside here is the crystal cavern converging into the heated part. And then this is the quartz pillars on the inside, which look really cool from the outside as well, along with the crystal caverns right there. And then we got just the regular kind of mine shaft. Let's get a better angle. See, you can get different angles too. If it doesn't look cool from the outside, you can go over here and be like, oh yeah, that does look cool. And then we got the mossy cave. Comment down below, by the way, which one of these is your favorite part? The mossy cave, the regular mine, or just comment down which one of these you like the most, or even the top. I think the top turned out very, very cool too. I did forget to light it up as much. There's not as much lighting, but it's lit up enough that you can walk around at nighttime, and I recommend too, if you guys are playing this map, do it at nighttime, because then you get a lot more of a nighttime feel to it. It feels a lot more cavey. That was one thing that I really struggled with and had the windows open, was just trying to get the kind of darkness you would need in a regular cave, and I forgot to do that while recording. If I'm being totally honest, I forgot to turn it to nighttime, but it did turn out really, really cool. Comment down below if you guys liked it. I think it turned out amazing. But with all that said and done, I actually do think that this is the end of the video already, which is crazy because that felt like just a couple minutes to me. Oh man, it turned out so very cool. If you guys are watching this video and have a Planet Minecraft account, go on the account and drop this build a couple diamonds so that maybe I can win. If I win, I get some prizes along with getting my account featured on Planet Minecraft for a week. If we get some attention like that for a full week having our account on this website, that would be just the coolest things ever. That would just be such an amazing early birthday gift, which my birthday is still a little bit of ways away. I think it's like 20 days away, but you know, still, an early birthday gift from you guys would be awesome. But I hope you guys did like this 1.17 cave themed build. I think it turned out so cool. Just the amount of caves and the amount of effort I put into this is maddening and insane, but it's just the most amazing terrarium. I love the way this whole thing turned out. It just looks so absolutely cool. Comment down below which your guys' favorite part of the cave system is. And if you guys want to download it, again, it will be on Planet Minecraft, so make sure to visit so you can download that, because it's a really cool map, and I really want you guys to be able to explore it and try out the parkour course yourself too. There is a little bit of a surprise if you beat the parkour course and get the Hearthstone, I think it's called. If you get that, there is a bit of a surprise. But with that said, that is the end of my passion-filled, amazing video. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll see you in the next one, whatever that's going to be. It's probably going to be another build tutorial or something like that. But with that said, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.